Order! Order! You are an incorrigible delinquent at times. Behave yourself, man!
A change in the rules on how much sleep-in care workers must be paid could leave the whole system on the brink of disaster. That's the message from the charity MENCAP, which looks after people with serious learning disabilities. It says that demands from HM Revenue and Customs to backdate 6 years of payments to workers who provide overnight care could amount to a total bill of £400 million. The Game of Thrones star, Kit Harington, has been raising awareness about the issue, and he's been speaking to our health editor, Hugh Pym.
Or do they go together in groups to do their activities?
With time out from his filming commitments, Kit Harington is campaigning for a cause close to his heart.
Shopping? Yeah, you go shopping, don't you?
He's concerned about a financial threat to charities which run supported homes like this for residents with learning disabilities.
What's her favourite song?
He's worried about the future care of his cousin Laurent, who has Down syndrome and autism.
He loves swimming, he loves Zumba, he loves dancing, going to the disco. He needs to live the life that he loves living. When my aunt can't care for him the way she has, we will need to find that for him. And my worry is that we won't be able to.
Care workers who stay overnight used to get a flat rate of around £30, including when they were asleep. But after a court ruling, employers now have to pay the minimum wage for every hour, around £60 a night. They've been told to fund 6 years of back pay, which they say is unaffordable.
What's your favourite colour? What does Leanne like?
Ahmed is a care worker with MENCAP. He does several sleep-in shifts each week.
Well done.
He says getting what he's owed from previous years is important, though he knows charities will struggle to find the money.
It's a sense of reward, really, an incentive. And what it would do, it would really boost my morale more like, and my motivation to do what we do right now and even more. Amazingly, he's got...
Unions say it's only what the care workers deserve.
They need to be paid. They've done this work already. It's incredibly important that the government enforces the national minimum wage and employers pay it. And care workers, because of the important work that they do, they deserve to be paid this money.
A Whitehall spokesperson said the government will continue to look at this issue extremely carefully alongside industry representatives to see whether any further support is needed and ensure that action taken to protect workers is fair and proportionate.
If something interrupts his...
Kit believes the government has to find the money.
Charities cannot pay this bill, and if they can't pay this bill, then people like the guys we're here with today are going to be left without the care they need, and that just can't happen. It needs to be footed by the government.
He's echoing the fears of charity care providers that being forced to find the money will lead to closures, with vulnerable residents the big losers. Hugh Pym, BBC News.
Now, the Game of Thrones star Kit Harington has joined a campaign to support charities facing a £400 million bill for back pay owed to carers who sleep over in residential homes. It followed a ruling that they should be paid the national minimum wage. The charity MENCAP says it could have a devastating impact on the care sector. Victoria MacDonald has spoken to the actor about why this is an issue close to his heart.
Game of Thrones fans will recognise him, Jon Snow. Not our Jon Snow, of course, but Kit Harington, star of the hugely popular TV series. But here, not in the fabled Westeros, but in Ilford, of all places, in East London, to lend support to a MENCAP campaign against a massive bill that charities face following a change in the rules for paying staff to sleep overnight in residential homes. Mr. Harington's interest is personal. His cousin Laurent has Down syndrome and autism.
He's a man with great sense of humour. I've obviously grown up with him. He's my first cousin, and I love him very dearly. And he's a kind soul as well.
Has he lived independently in the community?
Yeah. So Laurent, very like these guys here, is a profound learning disability and needs 24/7 care, needs a sleep-in carer. And he has, in the best scenarios he's been in throughout his life, been in some been lucky enough to be in some really great homes with some of his friends. Who do you shop with?
But this is all under threat, with Charities facing a bill of £400 million and warnings that some homes could be forced to close.
Historically, staff sleeping overnight received a flat rate of between £20 and £30. Unison took the case to an employment tribunal, saying that they should receive the national minimum wage. Now, MENCAP no longer disputes this. The problem, they say, is the demand from the taxman, that 6 years' worth of back pay. They say this risks putting the care sector into crisis.
The government today reiterated it has agreed to give them more time to pay till October. But MENCAP says they should actually foot the bill.
There's an ABBA plan in the house, isn't there?
If the sector were to implode, the consequence to families and people with a learning disability and the entire sector would be utter devastation. It would be ravaged. You know, we would fail to see how you could protect vulnerable adults without providing this service, and we desperately want the government to do something about this and to pay it.
Okay, here, Leanne, you hold.
Support worker Ahmed Noor, here with Leanne De Silva, was in fact about to go on duty that evening. In April, MENCAP began paying the national minimum wage for overnight shifts.
Come, let's go. There's a reason why we support them at night. For example, 2 of the guys we support have epilepsy, and that does not have a timetable. It's not going to go off only during the day. It can go off during the night. Hold Ahmed's hand. Good. Well, all right. I would never want to see MENCAP in financial trouble. Personally, it would be amazing to get the back pay, but the priority here would be the people that we support.
My cousin is Disney obsessed.
For Kit Harrington, this is not about disputing fair pay. It is about supporting the charity in the name of his beloved cousin.
Is he aware of just how famous you are?
Yeah. I don't think he cares whatsoever, and that's why I love him. I don't think he's a big Thrones fan, no.
No way.
No, he likes his Disney. Game of Thrones isn't for him, I don't think.
So if you got a Pixar or something like that, he might be okay.
He liked How to Train Your Dragon, yeah, and that was one I was in. So my aunt told me he really enjoyed that.
Okay, well, you know what to aspire to now.
Yeah, I'm aiming for, if I can get in Sesame Street or Disney, you know, I'll be a hero in Laurel's eyes. So that's the aim for me.
Although the other aim, of course, winning the fight with the government to foot that £400 million bill.
Thanks.